How many more watches are you going to break before you just buy the G-Shock Mudman GW-9500? I have a link below if you are interested. This will not fail. This is the toughest watch I have ever worn, and I have a lot of them. Look at all these. Look at all these in my G-Shock toolbox. Okay? Out of all these, this is the toughest. The Mudman GW-9500 by G-Shock. And I have had this for 1 year. So this is my review after 1 year. Buy it. Okay? You know, there's a lot of watches that are like G-Shock, okay? They have the G-Shock name on them. When we get a G-Shock, we want an absolute tough watch. And this Mudman is absolutely tough. I have tested it in the craziest ways. I have brutalized it at work. I work in the oil field. I've dunked this in diesel, you know, hydraulic oil, used motor oil. A cat headbutted this. I have put this through the ringer, and it still works, okay? And it's amazing that, like, I've had so many watches, more than these, but look at this. They always break. Look at this. This is part of a band, okay? Part of it. What happened to the rest of it? Well, somewhere in here. Here it is. An El Cheapo Casio, okay? How many El Cheapo Casios have I gone through in the 44 years of my life? Countless, right? So many of, I've never thrown a single watch away ever. So, but these are the only ones that I have now. What's happened to the other ones? What happens is that the pins pop out, okay? Look, let me find an El Cheapo Casio. Where's that one go I just threw? What happens is these pins inside, they pop out, right? If a watch isn't tough enough. Now these that I have survived. Only the strong survive, right? Look at these pins. These are not pins. These are bolts. These are shoulder bolts that are screwed into the case of the Mudman GW-9500, reinforced with these hard plastic wings. Okay, guys, I have this motto. If they're pins, they'll pop. That's what happens to watches. It's not always the watch itself that breaks. In fact, rarely does a watch actually break. It's the pins. Now you look at this El Cheapo Casio. It's been scratched. It's had the dickens scratched out of it. Look at all those scratches, okay? It has no protective bezel. Now look at the protective bezel of the Mudman, okay? These lumps protect the bezel. And it does not look pretty at all, okay? The Mad Watch Collector said that this is an ugly watch, and those are futuristic barnacles, as if there was some decoration, as if someone just decided, oh yeah, you know what'd be cool? Bumps. No, these bumps protect the screen, all right? And look at the King, this big beefy watch, all right? It has a bezel that goes all the way around. Does this protect the screen better? No. It protects the screen the same from straight on impacts. The problem is that filth pools up, okay? Look, here's another G-Shock. This is the special edition NASA, the GW-6900. It's the same thing. You get gunk in there, it's going to pool up. It's going to get all over your screen. It's going to affect the readability, right? Look at these bezels. There's ports for filth to drain out. That's what's amazing about the Mudman, okay? You have a protective bezel and you have a drain because you get dirty. You get absolutely filthy dirty. I do. Look at me right now. Filthy dirty, right? That's some anti-seize on my hands. People tell me, oh, Jim, you gotta like clean your fingernails or hands. I do. What you see is after I clean my hands, usually. I have a very dirty job, all right? And the Mudman is mud resistant. See that? Mud resist. So these buttons have this whole gasket and cushioning system to keep filth from getting inside the module. So when you're pressing this button, you're not pressing the actual button. This button pushes through a seal and presses the button inside the module. Okay? That's what mud resist is all about. And by the way, the King has mud resist. We're gonna be putting these head to head with a mud test, all right? But I've put this through the ringer. Like I said, so many different materials. Like, not like when you think of mud, a lot of times you think of water-based mud. Well, in the oil field, we have oil-based mud, and it's not like, oh, it's a nice avocado oil, maybe a little bit of olive oil splashed in. No, this is like mud, oil-based mud that's gone 3 miles below the surface of the earth and been regurgitated. It looks like something that, you know, the lummox would freak out about, all right? And this watch can stand up to it. That's why I highly recommend it. And after 1 year of usage, it's just far surpassed all my other watches, including my other G-Shock watches, all right? I have another watch that I like a lot, and it is this G-Shock, the GBD H2000, all right? It has a heart rate monitor. It has like a fitness band. It's, you know, this band is good for like fitness and working out. It's easy to press buttons. It has Bluetooth connectivity and a nice screen. Well, guess what? The other day, you know, I had to update the software. And let me tell you something, it was no picnic. You know, apps are stupid. Apps for everything are stupid. I hate apps, they're dumb. Like when I was, like back in the day, if you wanted to order a pizza, you'd call the pizza man. Be like, hey, you know, I want the pizza, you know, the pepperoni and mushrooms. And he'd be like, Jim, sure thing. We'll have it to you in 30 minutes. Nowadays, you want a pizza, you gotta like download an app, and it's infuriating because apps crash, they don't work. You know, like the millennials on the other end of the app, they're totally unmotivated to work. All right, every single type of smartwatch relies on an app that by definition is stupid. All apps are stupid. All right. Now I got this to work well with, you know, the app that I have for it eventually. And I've used this watch a lot, and I've lost a lot of weight. So there is some benefit from having a fitness watch, okay? But the problem is, you know, you have to do like update software. You never have to update software on the Mudman GW-9500. There's just no way. There's no Bluetooth. The Bluetooth cannot go wrong on the Mudman because it's not there, all right? Now, some of you are really paranoid. Welcome to the club, right? And you think, oh, if I have Bluetooth, they're going to track me. Yeah, of course they are. They do. There's no tracking you with a Mudman. This is a standalone watch. For those of you, some call us paranoid, crazy, schizophrenic freaks. We are going to survive the jive. And this is the watch that you need to survive the jive. They're not going to be tracking you, all right? The bobbies aren't going to be knocking down your door because, you know, you've said something incorrect or were someplace you weren't supposed to be, because they can't track you with this one, all right? The Mudman GW-9500. Now, you would think that a watch that has all these features is going to be more advanced than this watch that has a rudimentary LCD display. Well, surprise, surprise. These newfangled G-Shocks with all the bells and whistles, this watch, the GBD H2000, the timer only goes up to 60 minutes. Guess what? I've had this timer running since last November, right? I've been meaning to catch it when it gets up to 999 hours. Once it gets to 1,000 hours, it rolls over on the stopwatch. And then you have a timer. The timer goes to 24 hours. You get an alarm. You get 5 different alarms, and you have an hourly signal. You have a second time zone. This is when the time was last synced. August 7th, 2024, 6 minutes past midnight. This watch synced up the time to the World Atomic Clock in Colorado. It does that by radio waves. It does it automatically. All I had to do on the main time screen is set what time zone I'm in, and it's always the correct time. This other feature, which a lot of guys love, and I do too, is the sunrise and sunset. And you can move back and forth and see when the sunrise and sunset will be on different days. Pretty important if you work outside, right? If you have a permitted load that you need to haul, if you're doing heavy haul, you have to have, you know, your vehicle off the road by sunset. Well, there you go. You know how much time you have till sunset. The GW-9500, you know, is just the watch that you're going to want to have. And where did it go? Oh, I threw it in here. Here it is. I have a link below if you are interested. But I just wanted to give you guys a 1-year update, that I strongly recommend that you buy the GW-9500 if you are someone who just wants a basic, tough watch. And the link below will bring you to Casio, the Casio website, gshock.com. And I think you should buy it there because it's, you know, there's no proof of purchase necessary for the warranty. If there is any problem or anything, you know, they already know you bought it from them. And the other thing too is they have G-Shock points. And that's where I got this box. It's a G-Shock box. You see how it says G-Shock? I got like 900 G-Shock points from buying a bunch of these watches. And there's other stuff too. You can get like a hat, you can get a hoodie, and there's some other pretty cool things with the G-Shock points. You get that buying from G-Shock. Okay, so I recommend buying your Mudman from G-Shock, and there's a link below. Now, is this the perfect watch? No, there are some problems, okay? First of all, the screen, like at certain angles, can be kind of dim, all right? Because it has a double layer LCD. You turn on the compass. Let me see. Oh, okay. Let me go back to the main time. And now I'll go to the compass. See how it has this like purple? That's pretty cool, right? The 3 rays point north, east, south, west, right? Well, that cool feature comes with one drawback, and that is that at some angles, and it's not always like weird at like very acute or obtuse angles, it's some like random angles, the visibility can drop, meaning that the LCD can kind of get washed out. And as you can tell by the light, it can be kind of reflective too, okay? And the other thing is that at night, when you turn on the light, sometimes the same thing happens where the screen gets totally washed out despite having the light on, okay? Those are a few drawbacks that I want you guys to be aware of, okay? And I've been complaining. In fact, the reason I know that I've had this for a year is that TikTok just sent me a reminder that 1 year ago, I posted a video where I'm warning everybody about the visibility issues of the Mudman GW-9500, all right? And sales of this watch were not brisk out of the gate, okay? But this is a battle-proven watch, all right? We need to look past some of its drawbacks and focus on its strength, which is strength. The strength of the Mudman GW-9500 is strength. That's the way it should be, all right? Visibility, I mean, you can read this watch if you get it in a positive display. Now, it comes in a negative display. I would recommend not getting the negative display, but it is available. Now, another drawback is that this bezel, the actual bezel, is plastic, okay, and it's getting warped. You see how under the H in G-Shock, how it's kind of raised? And I'm talking about the bezel from the screen, and how it's kind of lowered near this crenellation. Well, that is actually 3/100ths of an inch. We measured it, okay? So the plastic kind of gets warped around the bezel. That's not something I'm very happy about. It does not bother me that much, okay? Now, the good news is that they're coming out with a new metal bezel Mudman. Stay tuned for that, okay? You want to be here watching my channel when that comes in because you're dadgum right, we're going to test it out, okay? The metal bezel Mudman could be the best watch, or it could be too heavy compared to this plastic watch. Because I have no problem with this plastic warping, and I do not mind the look of this watch. This is like the optimization of size and strength. Now, can you find a watch that's more durable? Yeah, you can get the Mudmaster, all right? It costs $800, all right? This watch is less than $800. I think I paid $380 for it, all right? Click the link to see exactly how much it is, but the Mudmaster, is it, you know, what is it, $420 tougher? No, that's the thing. You get diminishing returns on your dollar spending more for a tough watch. That's why I'm saying this is optimized, okay? And the other thing has to do with size. Like, this is not a very big watch. Look at, this is the King, the GXW-56BB. This thing's a monster, all right? The Mudman is not a monster. The GBDH-2000, same thing. It mogs the Mudman in size. That's a huge problem if, for example, you're working on diesel equipment and you need to, like, you know, reach in somewhere. You know, you're likely to have to take off a really big G-Shock if you're working on some equipment that has tight quarters. I work on diesel equipment a lot, and I've never had to take the Mudman off to reach anywhere. It's not that thick. It hugs the wrist really well. The wings will allow the band to either conform to your wrist or splay out. There is a break-in period, okay? I do want to mention that too. I shortened the break-in period by dunking the watch in diesel. Some people say that's not advisable. I don't care. I had to do it. It could, because everything I own gets covered in diesel anyways. Let's just get it over with, all right? I'm not saying that you have to dunk your watch in diesel, but it will make it clean and give it a nice patina, okay? What I am saying is that it takes some time to break in. Like, this wing will end up conforming to your wrist, all right? And for that reason, I do not recommend buying a Mudman secondhand, okay? This is one you want to buy directly from G-Shock, and this is one you want to have in your collection. You have to have a backup watch. You cannot rely on a smartwatch. You cannot rely on a GPS watch, all right? Our buddy, Philip Lahell, says that GPS doesn't even work in his area. They've jammed it, okay? If there is, like, some GPS jamming, you're going to be in trouble. So you do not want to have a GPS-dependent watch, all right? You want to reach for a rugged standalone watch, all right? And we were talking about that. Philip Lahell was talking about how he's kind of making fun of us for those of us who were excitedly updating the software on the GBH2000, and I'm wondering, well, what was there? What did it even update? Nobody knows, all right? There's no updates here. There's no software updates. This comes out of the box of what you need. You put it on your wrist, you wear it, and you never have to worry about it, no matter what you do, okay? Really tough watch, not too big, and it's not too expensive. I'm not saying it's cheap, but I'm saying that every penny that you spend on the Mudman GW-9500 is worth it, all right? So stay tuned for us. We'll test out the metal bezel Mudman when it comes out, Lord willing. And so many guys have chimed in the comments to say how much they love the Mudman. And a lot of farmers, a lot of guys in agriculture from Europe and America have chimed in to say that the Mudman's terrific. So if you are in agriculture, if you are in forestry, if you were in mining, if you were, deal with animals, like if you were a legitimate cowboy, I believe that this watch would be good for you. And I work in the oil field, operate oil field equipment and drive a tractor trailer truck, okay? And I love this watch, and I endorse it from, having abused it, all right? And what else? Well, obviously I got a bunch of watches, so if you guys hang around, I'll test some of these other ones. Some of these are pretty. Some of these are really nice looking. Like, look at this watch. This is probably the most beautiful watch I own. It's the color of mushroom gravy, all right? And who does not love mushroom gravy? Who would not want a mushroom gravy watch on his wrist? All right? Obviously, this is a casual watch. It's not like, look at the rivet already popped out. Not the most durable, okay? But this is durable, right? If you just want that one durable watch, Mudman GW-9500. I understand some guys want prettier watches. That's fine. I have a bunch of them for different reasons. But when it's time for a durable, rugged, standalone watch, I'm going to reach for the Mudman, the G-Shock GW-9500. Gentlemen, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except through him. I'm Jim Kinkade. Thanks for watching.